Hi everyone, it's Diane from Di's Den, and this week I'm going to show you how I made this card. It's called a tripled diamond card. Now I'm showing it to you this way up so you can see how it stands up. But when it's standing up, it looks like this. Now you could have it that way, you could put those two over the top of the one in the middle, but I think it looks better that way around. So that's my card, and also the one I'm going to show you, when this folds up into a 5.5 by 5.5 envelope, like so. These panels here I've left plain because this was my prototype, but the one I'm going to show you, I'm going to pop these on here, and I'm in the written tutorial, which you'll find on Di's Den for stamping, crafting and tutorials. It will be on there as an optional extra. So you've got your two panels on the back. I know, don't tell me, I've got to get the rubber on there and clean that up. But this is the two panels on the back for writing on, and as I say, this was my prototype and I really loved the way it turned out. So that is the card we're going to make today. Okay, so let me get started. Sorry about that, my chair got a bit wobbly, so I thought I'd better turn you off and turn you back on again afterwards. Alright, so we're going to be using this new set called Cottage Rose, and it comes with these beautiful dies here. One die is a bit strange, I think it's a bit strange anyway. There is some paper that comes with this, and I didn't bring that over, and it has this flower and these ones on it, and let me show you, and it's like an explosion thing, and it looks like this, right? But this one die here will fit over this flower here. You just have to cut that piece out first on its own, and then you can lay this one over these three here for that flower there. So to me this is just a strange kind of die in a way. It would have been better if they were cut separately, but I just thought I'd show you how that works, so that if you do buy this set and you're wondering, well, what the hell am I going to do with this after the paper is finished, it does actually fit those three flowers there, and this big flower here actually fits this one here. It's just the rest of it. To me, that's just pretty wasteful. I don't know, it just seems strange, but there you go. So that's that die there, and we're going, I've actually cut that flower out there and these ones and this one here. Now I've already done all of the cutting and colouring. So, and I've coloured in, let me see, what colour did I colour in? I coloured in Soft Succulent and Crumb Cake, because I'm going to make this card in Crumb Cake. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, because I'm actually making this for my blog, colour creation blog hub at the same time. I'm also using this set again, and as I'm really enjoying this, and I'm going to be using this die here again to make my saying on the front, which is going to be Best Wishes, that comes out of, oops, let's pop that back in there, out of this set here. So I'm going to use it, Best Wishes, and I haven't decided, oh that's right, I was going to put it on the block, these things, so I'll pop this Best Wishes off of the block. I've got to clean these yet, so, and I'll put on here, happy birthday, wherever happy birthday may be. What does it look like? Plain. Oh, there we go. Happy birthday. Pop him up the correct way. Let's stand him up straight so we can pop him in. And this one says, it's going to be a fab. It's going to be fab. So that's what we're going to put on the inside, and we're going to stamp in, sorry, I've got a bit hoo-hardy there, early espresso. I hate it when I get like that, when I get a mental blank of where I'm going. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using, and I'm going to use this leaf again on the back. So I've got some memento just to colour that with. Now there's lots of pieces to this card, so I've actually done a fair bit of the colouring and the cutting and everything else. And I've also cut one of these. So for the main card, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need 2 pieces of card that measure 5.5 inches by 11 inches. Now I've already scored and cut this one. We will score and cut this one together. For your diamond, you're going to need 3 diamonds that measure 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So now I've done all 3 of those, and I can't put them on until we've done this part of the card. So, and then for my diamond layer 1, you're going to need 3 that are 3 5/8 by 3 5/8, and 3 pieces of designer series paper that measure 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. Now I've done 2 of them, and I've cut out the flowers to go on those ones there, so we can do that bit together. For my front layers, right, you're going to need 4 that measure, let's turn that over, 5 1/4 by 2 1/2, and 4 pieces of designer series paper that measure 5 by 2 1/4. Now I've done the 4 of those for the front. For the back, I've got 5 there. For the back, because I'm doing the optional extras here, right, you will need 4 more pieces of this card that measure 5 1/4 by 2 1/2, and 2 pieces of white that measure 5 by 2 1/4, and 2 pieces of designer series paper that measure 5 by 2 1/4. Now I've put that as an optional extra, so you only really need those 2 if you're not going to put the extra panels on. But I thought I would do it with the extra panels, so that's all my bits that are all cut out. Let me pop them over there, under there, and pop them on one side, and let's get onto these pieces here. Okay, so we're going to pop them on one side, and we're going to bring in our scoreboard to start off with, and we're going to score this piece on the 11-inch side with our trusty tool with the small end, our trusty little stylus, and we're going to score this at, I can't read that far away, 2 3/4 inches, 5 1/2, and 8 1/4. While we have this here, we're going to turn this onto the short side, and we're going to mark this at 2 3/4 inches. Now you can see I've already done that end, and then we're going to turn it 180 degrees and mark it at 2 3/4 inches again. So we're going to pop our scoreboard on the floor, or against the chair, and we're going to bring in our trimmer. And we're going to trim this piece now. From that mark there up to, let's just mark that, pull that up there like that so you can see, up to the corner of this mark here. So we're going to go from that score line up to that mark in the middle there, and we're going to cut that piece off. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side, from that mark up to that corner, and we're going to cut that piece off too. And I didn't put that in there quite right. There we go, that's better. If you're like me and you've done that, you get a little bit of fluff on the end, just trim it off. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other end of it. So we're going to just make sure we can see our score line. So we're going to, from the score line to the mark we made in the middle, and cut that piece off. And then from that mark up to the score line on the other side, like so. So now we have 2 pieces of card, let's move those out of the way, that look identical. So we can remove our little marks on the ends, and we're going to actually fold these pieces. So we're going to fold, mountain fold, valley fold, mountain fold. We're going to do that on both pieces. So it's mountain fold, valley fold, mountain fold. Now this is the only hard part that we're going to get. So we're going to bring in our squares now that are the same ones, which are 3 of them that measure 3 7/8 square. And we're going to turn this one under. Oops, I've actually got these around the wrong way. Sorry, this one should be a valley fold. So I'm going to turn those ones in the middle are a valley fold. So it's a valley fold, mountain fold. So that when it folds down, it will be like so. Alright, so with our 2 in the middle here, we're going to make sure that they're butted up against each other really well, top and bottom. And we're going to pop glue on them. So we're going to go pop glue on this one here. This half. And we want it right up into the corners because we don't want to take the chance of it coming apart in the corners. Okay. So popping them up against each other, really batting them up. But we can pull it apart for a moment. We're going to pop one of these halves, one of these diamonds on to this one side. And once we're happy with that, we can butt that up against the other one really, really tightly, making sure that it is top and bottom the same. There's no gaps or anything. Pop the other one on top like so. Give it a good squeeze to get all the glue out to the edges. That way, oops, I don't want to bend our card. That way our card is now ready for us to pop together like so. With these other ones, what we're going to do is we're going to glue them on so that this part here hangs off the edge. Okay, so we're going to pop glue onto this end piece. And pop this one on the end here. Making sure that it's nice and square on those pieces. When you're happy, pop that down and give that a nice good squeeze out so that the glue gets right out to the edges. And then we can then pop this back down and give that another good squeeze along that edge there, so we know that it's nice and fit. So that's that side of our card done, and we're going to do exactly the same again on the other side of the card. It's not a hard card, it just, there's a lot of bits. But we do get there in the end. So that's together nicely there. I'm just going to give that a good squeeze from that side. Push that one back. Give it a nice good squeeze again along that edge there. Okay, so we have our main part of our card done now. So that's our main part of our card, as you can see. So we're going to start by putting our panels on the inside. Now, because I've actually glued them all together, we're going to bring our 4 panels in. Let's move that one out of the way and pop them in like so. On the insides like this. So we start by doing one side at a time, because we can then turn this over flat, making sure that these are flat on that side and that one is flat as well down. That way you're not going to squash anything. So you've got 2 diamonds this side and 2 half diamonds there. And we're going to pop our glue onto the backs of these, which we've glued together, and pop them on that inside piece there. Making sure if you have a directional paper that your paper is in the portrait style. So you cut it portrait. Once you put those 2 panels in there, and we give them a good squish down, we're going to open that up and we're going to push it back the other way. So we're going to pop it that way now. With this panel back that way. We can pop our other ones in. Making sure that if you have got a directional, that you turn it this way so that the direction of the paper is the same way both times. Now if you wanted to do it laying it flat out, you can do that. It just makes it a little bit harder to get behind the diamonds. But it's not like it's a wrong way to do it. I just found that it was easier to do it this way. I could actually lay it down flat and pop them in. So you can either do it that way or you can lay it like this and pop them behind those if you want. So I've done mine that way and I found that the easiest way. Now we're going to put our diamond pieces on. Now I've done 2 of these ready, and again you need a paper that is non-directional or one that you can actually put on there quite easily. So let's pop this one together, and I'm using the same paper all the way through, just one side and then the other, because I thought this was just really pretty paper and I did like it. So I'll pop that one and they will go on there. So I'll pop those onto there. So just making sure that if you've got a directional paper that you're happy with it being on an angle, or you need to have a paper that doesn't have a direction. Didn't put that piece on top there very straight, did I? That's alright. Can't pull it off now, so. Oh, I don't know what my dog is barking at out there. Whatever it is, she's not very happy about it. And that's our front of our card is all done, ready to be decorated. So when it stands up now, and it's nice and sturdy too, it sits there like so. So we're going to now turn this over, and this side is flat. But we don't need to put anything on here. You can put something on there if you really wanted to, but I didn't see the point in it personally. So I'm going to put my other panels on the sides here. As I said to you, it's an optional extra, and I have written it as an optional extra in my directions, which you will find on Di's Den for stamping, crafting and tutorials. You will find the link down the bottom here at the end of the tutorial. So if you would like the written tutorial for this one. I have seen this card done by Scrimping Mommy, and her size was a different size. I did mine as a 5.5 square. She did hers as a 6 by 6. For me, I did it at a 5.5 because I thought most people buy either letter paper if they're in the US or A4 paper in the UK and Europe and Australia. So for me, I just thought by doing it that way, I can then make sure that I get every market. I mean, you can buy 12 by 12 everywhere, but not everybody likes buying 12 by 12 paper. And if you've got to buy a whole pack of it just to make one card, it's not viable. So that's why I made mine a little bit smaller. Okay, for my panels in the middle here, which are my writing panels, I'm going to do my little bit of stamping, and then we'll pop this together. So let's pop that out of the way. Bring in my stamp pad, and I'm going to stamp the words "Happy Birthday, it's gonna be fab," and I'm going to pop that on one of these panels. And then I'm going to actually use Memento for the other one. And I'm just going to, let's put a piece of scrap down here because it will go over the edge. So I don't want it to cover the whole lot. I just want some of the leaves. There. maybe on this one as well, just across the top and the bottom. So let's pop that out of the way, that out of the way, and we'll bring in our soft succulent. So I'm just going to colour the leaves in light soft succulent. Oops, there we go. That's that one. And that one. Just gives a little something on the back. It doesn't have to be much. You don't even have to put a picture on the back if you don't want to. You know, I just think that it takes that plainness away. For me it does anyway. I like my inserts to be reasonably plain, but I do like also that you give it some depth. Some things just need just that, like the card I did for my blog the other week, and it was just plain inside, and I think it just needed to be plain inside. Okay, I'm going to use the dark one now, just to put the buds in and the about down the stalk, and just a little bit where all these dark patches are. I just sort of feel that they need to be emphasized a little bit. Not much, just enough. That one doesn't. That one's a bit dark. I don't know why that one sort of came out really dark. It just gives it a bit more depth. There you go. So that's those, and we can now pop them onto these pieces here and onto the back of the card. Okay, let's bring the back of the card in, and once again, if you've got a directional, make sure you turn it over like this so that these are in the right way and these panels here are correct. Alright, I like my words on the left hand side. It's not a rule, it's just something I prefer if I've got two panels. I don't always do it that way, but 99.9% of the time I do, and I just think that it just makes it easier on the eye to draw you across the page. Okay, so that's the back of our card done. Let's pop that up there. Now what we're going to do is put the pin in the glue for a minute and work out what we're going to do with the front. So once again, because we've got our words on there, we need to turn it over like so, and we're going to pop our little bits and pieces onto the front. Now this is my main feature one, so I'm going to pop that onto there with some dimensionals. Let's see if I can find a pack here. Oops, we don't want rubbish. Oops, stuck to my finger. We don't want that. Let's put them on the back of this one too. I'll need a couple of small ones to go in between, right down on the ends of the flowers there and there, and that one there. Okie dokie. So we'll pop these off. Now I've seen people use their picker tool, take a pick tool, whatever you want to call it, to get them off, but I can't seem to make it do it, so I do mine by hand. Now I'm popping that so that none of the dimensions are over the edge, but he's in the middle nice and neatly. And this one here, for my best wishes. These ones here I'm going to just glue the leaves down. And pop that leaf down that way. And that leaf that way. Get down there. Didn't I put any glue down there? I didn't. Oh, that wasn't very clever, was it? There we go. That's some glue on those. And then I'm going to pop these flowers up on some dimensionals. Let's put some big ones there and some little ones in between. Oops. He's going for a walk across the table. Oop. And I'm just going to put that at the bottom there so you can't see the bottom of the stem on the leaves. And again on this one here, the same way. Oh wow, yep, I love it. So we're going to finish off with these brushed metallic adhesive backed dots, and I'm going to use these ones here which look like a bronzy colour. No, that's bronze. That's a gold, brassy colour. And so I'm going to pop some of those on here. Oops, get on there. There we go, came off the end. So I'm going to pick the larger ones. I'm only going to put 3 on here in the middle section. Oh, I think that looks beautiful. I'm just going to quickly go and get the Winker Stella. There we go, Winker Stella. And I'm just going to brush over the leaves and the flower with the Winker Stella, just to give it a little bit of something more than just plain old stamped. Do that on all of them. If you don't have Winker Stella and you have that spray stuff, I have that spray stuff as well. If you could use that quite easily as well. But I just thought, oh, give this some Winker Stella so that it shines. Yep, that just looks gorgeous now. What do you reckon? It's a beautiful card. As I say, it stands up like this. These go in here, so you just need to make sure that you fold them back in there nice and neatly. So this needs to, you know, be pushed over nice and firm on the ends. And these ones in the middle need to go in nice and firm too. So let's close this up. So when it's closed up, it will fold up like so and go into a 5.5 by 5.5 inch envelope. You can't put the front on there, unfortunately. Unfortunately, you can't get the front there. I don't think it would go any other way. No, there's no other way you can do it. Make sure that they're nice and firm. So yeah, there you go. That's the card. That way it can sit up beautifully like so, apart, so that these flowers on the end can be seen, like so. And if you've enjoyed today's card, I'd love you to leave me a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you would like the written tutorial, head over to Diane's Den for stamping, crafting tutorials. There you will find the written tutorial for this and all my tutorials, and I look forward to seeing you, and so will everybody else. Thank you for being patient with me today, and I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.